الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم jërëjëf Sëriñ Tuuba jërëjëf Sëriñ Tuuba jërëjëf Sëriñ Tuuba. Thank you very much, my mentor, Dato Jamil Usman. I remain very much grateful and proud of you when you have been the backbone of my desire to establish Takaful in Africa. And yes, Alhamdulillah, we have come a long way, but we are still driven by passion to continue. We want to be involved in the establishment of Takaful in all African countries that don't have Takaful. Thank you for the opportunity. As my supervisor, Dr. Jamil Usman, said, he did not only supervise me to embark on writing on Takaful, but he did the arrangements for me to visit all the universities that are doing Takaful in Malaysia, and he also made the arrangement for me to meet Dato Mohammed Fazli, who just left. I went to Takaful Malaysia at the time when it was the biggest in Asia. I don't know whether it is still the biggest. So I had the opportunity and privilege to be attached to all the departments, and somewhere before the end of my attachment, they will say, you see that short man coming from Gambia, he's coming to your department tomorrow. Be ready, he has too many questions. Yes, I had too many questions at the time because I belonged to the conventional world, where I worked for 14 years from clerk all the way to manager. So coming to Malaysia and meeting this called Takaful Islamic Insurance, I said, no, it cannot be possible. What the hell does Islam have to do with insurance? Insurance is a profit-making venture, so why Islam? And then they said to me, no, this is Sharia compliant. So out of that inquisitive and jealousness to protect the conventional world that I belong to, I decided to go on practical attachment at Takaful Malaysia and had all the questions that you could think of to ask before conviction. Yes, I thought it was too good to be true. Something was hidden. But actually, at the end of my exposure or practical exposure, I was convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that Takaful is not only to do with Islam, but more to do with fairness in doing the business of insurance. So I came back to my supervisor, Dr. Jamil Usman, who is still who he is, very much passionate about helping in the development and spreading of Takaful. I said, yes, I want to go all out to do my dissertation in Takaful, but also to take it upon myself, a big challenge to establish Takaful in Africa when I get back. This Dato Mohammed Fazli, who left when I ended my practical exposure in Malaysia, gave me a challenge. Joof, I'm convinced you can establish Takaful in West Africa, and I want you to take that challenge. And I said, yes, sir, Dato, I will try my best. This is the International Islamic University of Malaysia, and is the foundation of all this that I'm into. And we continue to say the slogan, Malaysia Boleh, Malaysia is good. Indeed, yes, it's very true. It's among definitely the best countries that you could go to and purify your Islam, increase your deen, and then come back very confident about Islamic finance. This is actually the dissertation I did, a proposed model for Islamic insurance Takaful in the Gambia by Joof Musa, International Islamic University of Malaysia, under the supervision of Datu Jamil Usman, the organizer of this program. I'm proud of you. I'm grateful, Dato. I am always grateful. I'm happy to be associated with all that you're doing in life. As he rightly said, I was privileged to have met the former president of the Gambia at the Sheraton Hotel in Malaysia. And indeed, yes, by culture and tribe, our tribes are cousins, so I can say anything to him, he can say anything to me without anybody taking offense. That is a rich culture in Africa. So when I came, I threw praises at him, but said to him, you have actually destined to rule the continent, but you cannot rule me because I am Serer, and you're Jola, you are not fit to rule me. Then we laughed over the matter, and I said, he said, why are you here? I said, I'm doing my master's here. But honestly, Ichi, I found something too good to be left behind. I said, you're bluffing that you're a 95% Muslim country, but how come you don't have Islamic insurance? I only heard of it when I got here. And he said, how does it work? And I gave him a full explanation of how Takaful works. And actually, he was very, very much happy to hear that there is such, and he gave me an amount of money and said, go and do everything possible to come home with everything that is relevant, and we will support you. Yes, he is right. You can see right before you that when I came, I sent him a copy of my dissertation, and I was also privileged by attending Bank Negara, Central Bank of Malaysia, the Islamic Finance Division, still under the arrangement of Dr. Jamil Usman. And I was privileged to have been given a copy of the regulation of Takaful, which I carried home with me. So I sent to the office of the president a copy of my book and also a copy of the regulation. And this is actually what he used. This was my copy to send to government offices that were relevant to say, go through this draft and come up with the right one for Gambia, for Mr. Joof to kickstart Takaful in the Gambia. Yes, this task force committee that was set up was actually chaired by late brother Mamodou of the Central Bank, and they started in March 2005 all the way to December 2006, when it was presented to the House of Parliament, the draft, and the Act of 2003 was amended to accommodate Takaful in the Gambia. So Gambia became the first country in West Africa to have an act on Takaful, and hence I started in 2008. If we come to look at the history of Takaful, we're saying in 1979, the Islamic Insurance Company of Sudan started the first Islamic insurance system, Takaful. And we are saying by the mid 90s, there were 7 Takaful companies in Sudan, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Jordan, with the industry experience of high growth rates, growing from 1.384 billion in 2004 to 5.318 billion in 2008. The global Takaful market size reached 36.57 billion in 2024 and projected to reach 75.26 billion by 2033. So coming back to history, yes, we come to say there is.
In 2003, a Gambian studying management in Malaysia had a lofty dream.
My dream was to establish a Sharia-compliant insurance business in my country.
In a country where laws regulating Islamic insurance do not exist, this dream seemed far-fetched.
There was need for Central Bank of the Gambia to come up with new regulations and guidelines to be passed in Parliament for this to happen.
Under Takaful, the insurance short, is a partner in business entitled profit sharing at the end of every business year.
Takaful clients, known as participants, provide the funds on which we operate. As such, they are entitled to profit sharing at the end of the year.
West Africa Takaful is Mamodou Joof's current initiative.
West Africa Takaful, covering the sub-region, intends to be a market leader in the provision of religiously compliant insurance products and services.
West Africa Takaful on Keraba Avenue. In 2003,
Okay.
a Gambian studying
So from here, as you can see, that was just a brief of what I had to do. And yes, from there, I'm sorry, we are getting excited about this. So as we say, that was just kind of a bit of a history to start Takaful in the Gambia. And we continue on history. We say the first international consulting team by Young Horoma Dato Mohammed Fazli, who just left the lectures now, included Brother Abdul Qudus, Sister Salmija Diwai, Sister Tupuan Sabria, the wife of Dato Mohammed Fazli, Brother Zulkifli, and one Zamri, who is currently very active in the Nur Takaful of Malaysia. This was a team that came to the Gambia. I invited them to come and join me. The team stayed and trained the staff of Takaful Gambia for 14 solid days at Sunswing Hotel in the Gambia. I really miss them when I had to do it all again without them in Zambia when I established Phoenix of Zambia Takaful. I remember we started Takaful Gambia in 2008. By 2014, 6 years later, unpleasantly, I had challenges and had to leave the company to operate in my absence with my shares. And I went on international appointment to Zambia to establish the first Takaful window in Zambia for Phoenix Takaful. Phoenix is an insurance company, conventional, that's operating in 9 countries in that part of South Africa, including Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Kenya, and all these, their companies, they wanted to have a Takaful window. So I got there in 2014. And they're 14 million in population as opposed to my 2 million population in Gambia. But by Allah's guidance, they are 95% also non-Muslims. But with the support of Allah, I was able to establish the Phoenix Takaful window successfully. And in 2016, I went to the World Takaful Forum in Dubai, and I was attending as a speaker. And this is where I got contacted by the directors of Jais Takaful, and I had to go back to Zambia and come back to Nigeria for an interview to establish Jais Takaful, one of the first companies in Nigeria. Actually, when I had to start in Nigeria, it's all through God's help, really, because we're now looking at the giant of Africa to over 200 million population. And I was privileged to have been invited when the regulations for Takaful was being reviewed in Nigeria, I flew from Gambia to join them. And with the Minister of Finance, I was on the high table, I mean, reviewing the Takaful regulations for Nigeria. But little did I know that that same regulation was going to be the regulation I have to work under when I came back in 2016 to establish Jais Takaful. Yes, experience is all. I had to poach staff from conventional companies, bring them to a hotel called Taubo Hotel, and invited university professors and professionals when I conducted the staff training for Jais Takaful PLC. So we're coming here. This slide should have been presented earlier. This is the Takaful Act for Gambia. And we are saying so far, with that establishment of Jais Takaful, I came back to the Gambia in 2019 to establish the second Takaful called West Africa Takaful. So if you look at the board there, I started with Takaful Gambia. It's a big company now, and then moved to Zambia to establish Phoenix of Zambia Takaful window. Then from Phoenix, I came to Nigeria to establish Jais Takaful before coming home towards the end of 2019 to establish West Africa Takaful. We touch a little bit about the definitions so as to continue. It says, as defined in the Section 2 of the Takaful Act of 1984, Takaful is nothing but a scheme based on brotherhood, solidarity, and mutual assistance, which provides for mutual financial aid and assistance to participants in case of need, where the participants mutually agree to contribute for that purpose. Clear definition. All it's saying is that it is promoting people to coming together from having been exposed to same risk. Let's say motor insurance. We all are privileged to own vehicles. But when we drive from one destination to the other, we are actually exposed to getting involved in accidents. If you had to take a loan from your bank, let's say 1 million ringgit Malaysian to buy your vehicle, and you go to Takaful and join Takaful for a period of 12 months, this facility you took from the bank, you are paying for 3 years. And along the line, you get involved in an accident and the vehicle is destroyed beyond repairs. That does not stop you from having to pay the bank. So in your life, you are saying, I have this facility to pay. How will I manage to get another vehicle? In the old times, they would say, go to insurance. Your friends and family will say, go and insure your vehicle, so that you are transferring your risk to the insurance company. When they say to you, the value of your vehicle is 1 million, we're asking you to pay 20,000. When you give them 20,000, they give you a piece of paper that they call insurance. That piece of paper, whether it is called Peter, Paul, or Muhammad or Abdullah, is still nothing but a piece of paper. It's not worth the 20,000 you have given them. And yet still, come the end of the 12 months, all they will say to you is, you are a good client. We will now rebate or discount the 20,000 by 15%, no claim discount. You're asking me to pay again? I left your office after 365 days. I didn't come back to you. I'm coming for the renewal of the contract. You are asking me to pay again? Come on, it has never been fair. So, but then to say, I live in this Silango and we all are privileged to own vehicles. They go to insure their vehicles. You don't insure yours because you say Islam does not support insurance, come a time that so many vehicles are involved in accidents, you see your neighbors go to bring new vehicles, and you're asking yourself, how come they are able to buy new vehicles when I'm struggling using commercial transport to move about? They tell you they're insured, they were insured, and their insurance companies have compensated them. Excuse me. Now you say, oh my God, I could not insure mine because I'm a Muslim. No, we are saying ever since mankind, Islam would never deprive you of anything that is of good. We are saying God would always say, this is halal, this is haram. Wherever something is not permissible, there is something by it that is permissible. And therefore, it was meant for Muslims to go and do a research to come up with something that will be equally beneficial to those insurance companies. So it became a solution after a research that you can do something similar to insurance, but called Takaful, where people are coming together for mutual benefit. You are now insuring 5,000 vehicles. At the end of the year, only 100 got involved in incidents. They've been paid from the pool. And whatever surplus or profit you are looking at the pool, the company or shareholders should not take it. It's not fair. It's not theirs. The contributions or premiums were taken from people, and therefore, if there is anything to go by profit, they need to be considered. And even the less privileged, who have nothing to think about insurance, they have nothing to insure. They're thinking of their square meals, but yet still let them wish Takaful well, because at the end of the year, it's the only system that comes back to knock at the doors of needy and give them zakat. For every 1,000 of the profit, you are considering, for every 1,000, 25 units are put aside for the needy. So that it's so beautiful. Takaful is for all. And that was my convincing point that actually motivated me to venture into it to the depth that I'm in today. I established or started Takaful Gambia in 2008. By 2010, we are already paying zakat to the needy. The first zakat I took to the National Hospital of Gambia in the form of bed sheets, towels, and all that is needed for patients. Now, this next zakat we gave out to schools, including a Catholic school, where each school we selected 8 needy students and give them a scholarship. By the third year, we took a consignment of rice, food items to the provinces because the farmers suffered a flood. And the next zakat after that, we brought in widows who have lost their breadwinners and have large families. So we are able to assist. So that is just to say, endlessly, you can go on and on to talk about all the virtues of Takaful to society. Nigeria, most populous country in Africa, with over 200 million. By 2005, the regulators acknowledged the need for Takaful, that is as financial inclusion instrument. And by 2010, Hilal Takaful was authorized to operate a Takaful as a window. By 2013, the regulators issued the Takaful guideline. This is where I was privileged to have been invited from Gambia to join the team that was working on these guidelines. By 2016, both Nur Takaful and Jais that took me to Nigeria were licensed as a full-fledged Takaful operator. The number of Takaful operators have now been increased, I understand, to 5. Nigeria insurance industry is gross written premium is 1.562 trillion, of which Takaful accounts for 1%. Total insurance industry assets in 2024, that's 3.9 trillion. we go on to see another one, which with Takaful, it is like you just have to be innovative. We design products that are socially, it will help society and socially friendly, and Takaful will always consider making life better for the people by products. And one of those products that I initiated before even coming to Takaful in Gambia was medical insurance. Within the 90s, in 1991, there was no medical insurance in the Gambia. So people who wanted to, who could afford buying medical insurance to take care of their families, had to pay heavily to international schemes like Bupa International, which is the largest in the world, and Private Patient Plan of London. If you are between 40 to 50 years, you may end up paying something like over £2,000. And yet still you use local hospitals in Gambia and then come back to the insurance company to help you to complete your claim form, and you sent to London. If you have 95 claim, you are lucky to get 60 back after applying all the deductibles and all that. And those times in the 90s, medication was not as expensive as it is today in the Gambia. It used to be that consultation could be $25 or something like 100. But yet still you pay these heavy pounds. The only advantage or the only reason why you went for it is that in terms of evacuation, where you suffer of any condition which could not be treated in the Gambia, the Bupa had the capacity to send a helicopter or a special flight to pick you to the destination, nearest destination that you can be managed, your condition can be managed. But if that doesn't happen, you are just losing money. And it was nothing more less than capital flight. You're sending all this money to outside your country, and yet still it is not even taxed. So it was then, as a young graduate from Liberia, the West Africa Insurance Institute, I said, no, come on, this is not fair to my country. I sat down and designed the first medical insurance scheme using the Bupa plan and that of Private Patient Plan of London and another one of France. So after getting the first draft, I had to go one-on-one visiting hospitals and discussing with administrators and doctors to allow an MOU where anybody who is issued by a medical card by my company, then conventional, they will treat the person and bills are sent to us to pay on a monthly basis or periodically. Again, the good thing was at the time we are able to connect with hospitals outside, and we would send people for evacuation. And by experience, even during those times, I evacuated somebody to Egypt and numerous to Senegal for treatment. So this is how medical started in those years. And then coming back to the profession of Islamic finance, I still saw that it could be possible. So I designed the first medical insurance scheme when I was running Takaful Gambia. And eventually I did one here in West Africa, Takaful, and it's almost one of those leading big accounts. And even last year, I evacuated a patient for cardiac valve replacement successfully. Alhamdulillah, the person is back to work, and we continue to work. So on that also, I have on national TV this advert that you can watch with me to see how successful we are doing in medical too.
West Africa Takaful daal ñëwati nañ waaw seen xereñ ci wàllu medical insurance leer na nañ ñoo door medical ci réewi Gambia te léegi nag dañoo nangatoo ak lopitaan yu mag ya ca Sénégal Dakar képp koo xam ne yaa ngi bokk West Africa Takaful medical insurance Dakar dinañ la ràññee ci wàllum faju boo soxla nag yemuñu foofu de sa oto sa kër sa alal yépp yóbbu ko West Africa Takaful Islamic insurance daal dem leen West Africa Takaful fekk fa nag Mamodou Musa Joof mi ko indi ci réewi Gambia fii Southern Africa ak Nigeria. West Africa Takaful seeti leen ko ca fan ñu nga ca Kairaba Avenue Banjul Burusu bi ak Birkama.
woo leen ñu si 500 01 24 727 10 89 699 03 47 wala ndoog 993 44 69.
West Africa Takaful mooy ñi nga xam ne ñoo leen di dimbali ci seen wàllu wér gu yaram di leen dimbali di leen sàmmal seen alal kon West Africa Takaful daw leen ca moom Islamic insurance la.
So that is that on the medical insurance, and that is broadcast from Monday to Friday from 9 o'clock in the morning to about 10 o'clock when I sponsor Good Morning Gambia. Yes, this is the latest award. I got numerous of them, alhamdulillah. But this is the 4th Africa Outstanding Professionals Award 2025. And it was held here in the Gambia. One of maybe the second one award that I'm getting locally, but all the other awards, I get them out of my country. So I was very happy with this one because it is in the heart of Banjul that I receive it. And is saying it is like the most outstanding in community insurance service. Well, you can imagine that when you consider Islamic finance, sometimes they give them different names. You go to South Africa, they give it a name. You go to America, they tell you ethical financing. But the bottom line is nothing more better than the right word, which is Islamic finance or Takaful. I continue to propagate and prospect and all that. This is like showing you in 2022 when I took the podium for Senegal Islamic Finance Forum in West Africa, and where I had to participate as a speaker. And this is 2024 WICA conference in Ghana, as you can see there also. Been delivering as a speaker. The growth and spread of Islamic finance owes it to Malaysia for their pivotal role in capacity building. The Gambia in particular will remain grateful for the support we continue to receive from Malaysia in all sectors, and including Islamic finance. Our Gambia-Malaysia graduate alumni has grown very large in prominent positions in both government and private sector. We appreciate and we very much count on the continuous support in the development and spread of Islamic finance in the continent. That is what Malaysia have done for us. So we say, long live Malaysia. Long live Dr. Jamil Usman, Dr. Mohammed Fazli, and your entire organizing team for this program. We recognize and thank Malaysia for your role in promoting economic independence and world peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Mamodou Musa Joof, Managing Director, West Africa. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Brother Joof, for very exciting presentations. We are very proud of you for your achievement as an award recipient of the very in the field of community insurance. Also, as been mentioned by Dr. Padli, to establish something new in Africa or in any part of the world, you have to go to the same process. When Dr. Padli has experience undergoing the process in Malaysia and in other countries in here, but Brother Joof was the same thing, having the same problem. So he need the endorsement of higher authority. So of course the higher authority, the central banks, and also the word from the president was very important. And Dr. Padli had a word from the Prime Minister, Tun Mahathir, and you got the word from the president. Takaful very much relevant in setting up the organization. So with that, thank you very much again, Brother Joof. You did mention a few names in your presentation, Sister Amija, Sister, all this kind of thing. So I knew all of them, yeah, and especially in the Takaful industry in Malaysia. So we have about 45 minutes, but I'm not sure whether Joof will still be awake for another 45 minutes, because now it's still very early in the morning over there. We open this to the participant to ask question. You can raise your hand or through the chat box. Sister Jaria will handle on this, inshallah. Sister Jaria, have a look.
Ya, Dato'. There is Brother Abu Bakar. Can you unmute yourself? Brother Abu Bakar.
Waalaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
You have a question, right?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes, it's Abu Bakar, PhD, calling from Nigeria. Unfortunately, it's almost time for Fajr prayer. But Alhamdulillah, we want to appreciate Brother Joe. Thank Allah for his life and appreciate him, and also appreciate his mentors and lecturers who have actually groomed him. I think that passion he had for Takaful. I know that we've met Brother Joe once or twice. If probably would remember, he was in Katsina, in Nigeria, Katsina State, with the then DG of the Jais Foundation. That actually founded the Jais Takaful he has talked about. So then I was the operations manager of Jais Bank Katsina branch. And they came into the branch with the DG and went into the manager's office where they sat. And Alhamdulillah, we attended to them. Yes, Jais Takaful is actually blossoming, and others have debuted. The Nur Takaful that the earlier speaker spoke about, Crown Takaful, Salam Takaful, and more. There is also a health medical outfit, HMO. I believe Brother Joof is familiar with HMOs too in Nigeria. Jai's staff also did set up, I believe, the first HMO, Aman HMO, that is based on Islamic principles, and it's also doing well. It should be in its fourth to fifth year now. The Jai staff came together to put that up. Now I have a question for Brother Joof. Brother Joof was about speaking on that, but I think not so elaborative. Talking about the business angle of Takaful and probably profit. We understand that Takaful is all about contribution and mutual assistance by the participants that make contribution to the fund. However, some people came up as shareholders to set this up. How and at what point it returns as shareholders who have put in their resources to put this great institution into place for the mutual benefit of all. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Can I answer to that? Ma'am, can I answer to that question?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. I do remember when I came with Ambassador Babangida to your branch. You have a good memory. I'm grateful. Thank you very much for everything. Yes, sometimes when we briefly talk about it like that, and you are not deep into it as a professional or a participant, you may be doubting, are these people charitable? They say they have insured 5,000 vehicles or 5,000 houses. Only 50 houses got burnt. This contribution that they have received and have settled these losses, the whole amount goes for distribution back to participants who have not suffered losses. What happens to the shareholders who put up their money, who rented offices or who built offices? Yes, my brother, we are not charitable. They are getting clean money because
Sir,
the
your
proposal.
sound very slow. Can you raise up
Okay.
a little bit?
Yeah, okay. I was using a headphone. Let me remove that. Because we are saying, is it better now?
Yes,
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 yes.
better.
Yeah, because we are saying you are collecting funds from the people, and these funds go to settle losses. Whatever remains, you claim you distribute back as surplus or profit sharing. The tendency is for one to say, are you charitable? No, we are not charitable, but we are earning clean money. The proposal forms the most important part of the insurance contract. That proposal form that you come to complete, that you are Abdullahi, your vehicle is Mercedes Benz, you live in Otako, and the value of the vehicle is 2.5 million. In that proposal form, there is a declaration which is clearly informing you or requesting that you sign that whatever you're paying us, we are taking 20%, or we're taking 30%, or we're taking 35% to form part of our management expenses. Once you sign that, that is consent. So for a Takaful company, it's an obligation that you maintain two accounts that are very separate. That is, you call it the participants account. When you go to conventional insurance, you are a client. But when you come to Takaful, you are a participant coming to participate in the formation of that fund for a common purpose. Now, when you are a participant, you sign that declaration. We are clearly informing you that this payment you're making today, this percentage of it will form part of our management expenses. The rest goes to that separate account for participants. So you must have a participants account in the bank, and you must have operation account or shareholders account. So for every business that comes, if your policy says you are taking 30% wakala, which is the payment you are giving to us to serve you, then, and that is what is approved by Nikon, or that is what is approved by the regulatory authority, then you have to keep to it. And that is the role of the Sharia board, to see that these accounts are separated, and you cannot use the participants account for anything other than pay losses, pay reinsurance, or pay agency commission, brokers or agents. That your participants account, that is all it serves. And it is when there is surplus on that that goes for distribution. On the other hand, the shareholders account or operators account receive that percentage spelled out in the proposal form, whether it's 30%, 20%, whatever it is, of every business that you receive. That's the amount that you send to your shareholders account. Remember that shareholders account or investors account started with the capital that was required for you to be licensed. So from the capital, you started to rent offices, to buy office tools and all that. And then once you start production, this percentage is coming into that. So the first year, let's say you generate only 50 million. 30% of that 50 million is not enough for your salaries and all admin expenses. But what do? You have to tap into the shareholders' capital. So it starts eroding from year one, year two, year three, year five, thereabout. Now you start saying, I've generated 100 billion. 30% of that is more than what we need require to run our office. So it becomes clean, profitable money that goes for surplus, that goes for dividend payment. On the other hand, the participants account, could start generating profit from year 2 or year 3, depending on the claims that they experience. Whatever remains, zakat must be paid as a priority, the rest distributed. My brother, your contribution was 50,000. It's not that you did not suffer a loss. We are giving you 50,000 less than 30%. No, we are giving you the rateable proportion of that 50,000 to the profit we are looking at. Your payment was 50,000. The amount totally received, the total amount was 50 billion. So 50,000 over 50 billion times the declared profit. If the declared profit is 30 billion, then that is what you own. The other one who paid 100, if you are, if you've paid 50 and you are getting 25 back, then the one who paid 100 would be getting 50 back. Proportionately, that is how it's calculated. Assalamu alaikum. I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you very much, Brother Joof. We appreciate and also appreciate IIIT for this session so far. Unfortunately, we want to take we take leave for Fajr prayer, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. So
please remember us. Remember us in your prayers, please.
Brother Joof. Thank you very much. You too. You come see the name.
So the brother Muhammad Ibrahim, can you unmute yourself? Muhammad Ibrahim. Okay, he slowed down.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Are you hearing me clearly now?
Yes.
Yes.
You can ask a question.
Okay, I have I don't know, maybe the time will permit you to answer the questions because I'm having 3 questions. Now, the first one is, what we learned so far is whenever we are learning things like this, we should try and implement it and try to dribble the message out to other people. So, for someone who have the knowledge of application of app and AI knowledge, how can that person implement that knowledge on Takaful? That's my first question. So the second question goes like this. Is there any other course? Because actually my studied course was Islamic study. Basically, in my undergraduate day, I meant BSc. So later I started having interest in Islamic banking. So for something like this, is there a course that one can read that is that free, like this master course on Islamic banking and PhD course on Islamic banking? Or if there is no course that is that free, is there anyone that is minimal? Because I know I'm certain of that of IOU, Islamic Bank, Islamic University, General University, Islamic American University, like that. So I'm certain of that. But I don't know if there is any other one that one can just be learning from to update one's profile. And lastly, according to what the lecturer, I really appreciate him because I was gingered by his certificate. The issue of Takaful, is it profitable? Because we know from country to country it differs, the rate of currency. Is it possible or profitable for someone to leave Takaful here and try to do that Takaful outside the nation, outside one's country, so that by the time they calculate the rate of the currency, one will be having a larger profit? Is there any possible chance of that? So thanks, sir.
All right, ma'am. If I am to answer to him, the first question was not very clear. You talk about knowledge of Takaful. What? Can you please come back to your first question?
My first question is for someone. You said implementation of what you have been teaching us. How can we assist Takaful in our own area? Because I'm from Nigeria, to be precise, and this Takaful is not really selling in our own part. It's only well known in the northern part of Nigeria. So how can one benefit with my own knowledge of application, app application and the AI learning? So how can I benefit people on Takaful?
Well, thank you very much. We are very much appreciative coming from the Takaful wall of your intention to support us. The challenge is that awareness creation is a challenge to Islamic finance. Once you appreciate it, it cannot be compared to any system other than itself. It's second to none. So the area that you are in, if Takaful is yet to reach there, is for you to see how you can reach Nur Takaful, Jais Takaful, or Halal Takaful, and indicate to them that there are potential so that they can extend their service to you by a branch or anything. However good they may be, if they are not reachable, people cannot support them. We are saying if Jais Takaful doesn't have a branch in Katsina, which I love very much, Katsina people cannot be paying transport to go or using their own vehicles to go to Abuja or Lagos to buy their service. So reachability is one, and the regulators need to make it easier, much easier also for this service, Takaful service providers to spread so as to reach out to the needy, because it is a system that which is needed by all. So I think that is what one can advise. If you are into Islamic banking or you are interested into Islamic finance further studies, we are saying you are at the right forum. Certainly continue to talk to people like the forum, Dr. Dr. Jamil Usman, Mohammed Fazli, and all these organizers. Malaysia is the best center for Islamic finance. You will get colleges, you will get universities that will actually take you on. And also, I mean, even back in Nigeria, there you have universities that are offering Islamic finance now, and you can always reach out. It's just a question of doing some little contacts, and you will get there. Certainly, I've gotten you all my numbers on the screen there. I think you can see all my numbers are on WhatsApp. We can see how best we can support you if you are interested in pursuing your further studies. Um, you also asked about profitability of Takaful exchange, considering the rate of exchange. No, I mean, remember, if Takaful Malaysia is to operate in Nigeria, they are using the Nigeria economy so that um, the exchange does not come here. We will pay in naira and claims are settled in naira. You are in Gambia, your premiums or contributions are calculated in Dalasi, and claims are settled in Dalasi. If they are pegged in to dollars, then it means you are going to pay contribution in dollars, which most economies don't allow. You have to use the economy or the monetary unit of the land. So exchange doesn't have much here. And we have Takaful in the continent and outside, but they are only going to also expect you to contribute to Takaful in the units of your country, because once there is a claim also, that is what they support you on. Assalamu alaikum. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir, very much, sir.
Mm.
Okay, thank you very much. Brother Awal,
Yes.
you can unmute yourself. Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I don't have a question, just to say to Brother Musa, congratulations, and we still thank you for your role in Jaiz Bank as well as Jaiz Takaf. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Most grateful. Thank you so much. May Allah reward you. Thank you.
MashaAllah. Let me check in the chat box. Oh, there's no question from here. from Nur Arfifa. Nur Arfifa, you can unmute yourself.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Brother Joof, thank you very much for your, I think, inspiring sharing session. I'm one of the instructors who sharing about related to business strategy for this program. But then when I listened to your presentation and our former presenter just now, Dato Fazli, just to uh, to confirm my understanding, what I saw is you came to IIM and then you discover about Takaful, and then this is where the knowledge when you found the truth, and then not only you found the truth, but it's also uh, um, produce the will. I think that you have strong will, the will for you to bring back this to your country because of the knowledge, the truth that you discover, and then you want to bring back to the your country, which is, I think, you have clear purpose. This is, I try to relate with the model that I share with the participants throughout the program, with the clear purpose, the knowledge, and then we cannot. I also can see when you mentions about the clear definitions of takaful and why how before this Dato Fazli share with us about the process. We cannot ignore the government. We have to come up with a proposal, and then we have to convince all the stakeholders, direct stakeholders related to your country, to our country, in order to establish this in the right way. So this is the thing that I saw also during the presentations, the process establishment. And then not only that, educating, training, and then this is something that produced from the strong will to spread the truth. And then this is the thing that I saw from you, which is if we want to relate to business ethics, good leadership, it started with the knowledge and the will that you want to spread the truth, and then how you really trust this is the right thing to do, so that you have the continuous passions in upholding the missions that you want to achieve. And then the last, I also see from from your presentations is the importance of the right people. For example, like you with the people who have the right understanding and clear vision, and then you gather all the expertise, people who have same visions and missions, and then that can lead others, inspires others to work with you. So this is also I saw when I did my PhD. What happened in the Takaful in Malaysia when they start to promote Takaful, the agents, they not only promote the product, but I remember I meet the agents, the Takaful agents. They said this is our jihad to educate the ummah, where we have to change from conventional to Takaful, because Takaful is something that align with the Sharia. So this is the thing that I saw. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, barakallahu fi. And thank you for your presentation, Brother Joof, and Prof. Jamil. Thank you very much for this session. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the support, the moral support. We are grateful. Yes, absolutely. I am grateful to the fact that I had Dato Jamil Usman and Dato Mohammed Fazli giving me challenges that I thought I could not, overcome. But with passion, yes, one had a clear vision and intention to make sure that we achieve more than we are doing now. We're still looking forward to breaking new grounds. One must not also fail to mention that definitely, if looking forward to supporting your children for education, Malaysia is the best destination where you don't get them lose their faith. They will purify their deen, and yet still Islamic finance. This is the fountain where you can get every knowledge you're looking for in Islamic finance from Malaysia. And we are grateful that the Malaysia government supports you, but they will not encourage you to stay. The syndrome of losing all our big brains to big countries does not happen in Malaysia. Elsewhere, you are intelligent, you are an achiever, they would tend to give you nationality and keep you in their country. So how can Africa develop? But with Malaysia, all the support you need is given, but at the end of your program, you must leave. So it motivates you to go back, teaching you how to fish rather than giving you fish all the time. And we are saying that therefore it was definitely by Allah's grace that you do not go elsewhere, but you went to Malaysia. And the fact that you had 14 years experience with conventional, doing it from the very bottom to the highest of manager, was enough to say when you challenge Takaful, you challenged it with the fact that you are going to expose them. They were doing something not possibly true. But at the end of the day, you got really convinced that everything that conventional does is what you do. But basically, it is all about a big difference in the accounting. You cannot be benefiting from that contribution or premium which is not primarily from you while sacrificing those contributors or those people who have paid the premiums. And that was a very motivating factor that I said, no, let me rather expose conventional practice now that what they're doing is not acceptable, is not good for society, and is not helping any economy. Assalamu alaikum. Are we there? Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Um, did you get all my message or I got broken?
Yes, sure. Okay. I think this from Dr. Murinetti, Dr. Murinetti. Can you unmute yourself, Doctor?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to ask. Ya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Alhamdulillah.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for the presentation, and mashallah, it's very insightful. And I can't agree more with the presenter that IIUM in Malaysia have changed our life. And I myself not only changed my interest into Islamic finance, I did my accountancy undergraduate study at IIUM in Islamic accounting, and it has actually been into my life. I did my master's and my PhD also in Islamic accounting. And again, thank you IIUM in Malaysia. Every time I land in this country, mashallah, it really beats my heart, and I feel like always balik kampung. Just today I arrived in Kuala Lumpur. Inshallah, salam to everyone, and especially to Datuk Wira Jamil Osman. My questions on the Takaful, brother. Indonesia market share. I'm from Indonesia. Indonesians Takaful market share is very small. It's even around 10% only. It means we have been struggling, and I think there is kind of misconceptions on Takaful. Takaful is for the rich. Takaful is for something that you will gain. So it's not on very much on wata'awanu alal birri wa taqwa wa la ta'awanu alal ithmi wal udwan. So it's not in that spirit. So what is actually that you've been preparing when you talk about Takaful in West Africa, so or in your experience in other country as well, how to convince households like personal and family onto their choices on Takaful, which to me, mashallah, it has given lots. Not only we don't think about what return that we can have, but many other things like. I started having Takaful, of course, during my time in Malaysia. And my first child was born in Kajang, Malaysia. And I started using Takaful Nadi or Takaful for children's educations. And it offers a lot to me. And I've been doing it for the past 25 years. Had my 3 children, and even when I moved to in Indonesia, I use the same product again, and this is fantastic. So and then plus I because Takaful is always associated with people with a good income. So I came out with a program. I call it literacy and ta'awun program for people with special needs or people with disabilities. So we include as well a portion of Takaful, a micro Takaful. It's free for them. I raise fund, and Alhamdulillah, I manage about 8,000 people. So because I wanted to show to the society that Takaful is for everyone, in which people with disabilities or people with special needs are mostly rejected in a by Takaful industry, Takaful companies, because they are too risky. So what is your opinion again, brother, about this one? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister. Thank you for yes, agreeing that IIUM will be pray for IIUM is a real good foundation, and Malaysia Bole. It's definitely prepared so many specialized people in Islamic finance globally, and we're all doing very well. That IIUM here in Gambia had produced the Minister of Justice, the Governor of the Central Bank, so many professors at the university and all that. So I'm also happy that you're saying you're from Indonesia. I was privileged to have visited countries around Malaysia when I was there studying. Every holiday I jumped to one country. So I was in Jakarta. And I enjoyed it so much, especially the seawall. I didn't want to leave the place when I went to the seawall with my family. Yes, I mean, actually, that's dissemination or awareness creation is the biggest challenge that we have when it comes to Islamic finance. I mean, people have a wrong concept. It got to a point in Nigeria where friends will say, hey, go back to your that small village called a country. Otherwise, you will have a problem in this country. You are too outspoken. I say, yes, it is to say that it is not so much to do with Islam, really. It is so much to do with fairness. Islam does not want to own Takaful, but Islam would want to recognize and accept Takaful for its fairness. So, I mean, it is like you come and you are not a Muslim and you're insured with us. When we distribute surplus, we're not saying what is your religion before we give you your share of surplus. We give the surplus to everybody. And when I interviewed staff in Nigeria, I was privileged to have appointed one non-Muslim to head the IT department, because I believe that no matter how good how much you have in your house, however good things are in your house, unless you open up and invite others, it may end up being like a prison for you. So the virtue of Islam has to be open to mankind, because it's like the world, God created us, and we must be empathetic. We must feel that some people are not into Islam simply because they're not exposed to it. They are not educated. They don't know. They are born to be where they are, and nobody comes to tell them anything. But by the time you get closer to them and appreciate them as human beings who are appreciated by the Creator, very soon they see in you the need to look closer inwards and appreciate Islam and appreciate the products of Islam. This is my principle. If you come to Takaful, when I was in Zambia, about 80% of my staff were non-Muslims. But by the time I left Zambia, four people have already converted into Islam. If I didn't open up, would I get that? When you come to Gambia right now, I have two non-Muslims within my company. But it's for them to see how we're living and how we're treating people and how Islamic finance is, presenting or proposing or promoting fairness. I mean, this is all what it is. So, I mean, you are saying you have 10% in Indonesia. Gradually, you will get there. We are saying with all that big market in Nigeria, Takaful is representing only 1%. So you're already getting far more than Nigeria is getting. So keep it up. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.